was thinking back to what happened in 2017 when I woke up early Sunday morning to a letter from a woman saying that she'd been sleeping with my new husband, that they had had in a relationship for over 3 months. In fact, the letter started, "So, you're married to so-and-so. I guess the joke's not just on me, but on you too." What would I say to myself today if it was me who woke up that morning and not the me that was that person almost 5 years ago, 6 years ago? Hi, I'm Dr. Carrie Kerr-McAvoy, and this is where I talk about all things related to relationships, and particularly narcissistic abuse and narcissistic relationships. There are several things I know that I would do profoundly differently. So maybe this is for you. Maybe this hasn't happened to you. I know that I used to fantasize what I would do before I lost my husband to cancer. I'd been married twice. My first husband I'd been married to for 31 years. And during that long marriage, I sometimes fantasized, what would I do if I found out he'd been cheating on me? Now, my first husband's word was his bond, and it wasn't something I was terribly worried about. Never did I dream I would marry someone very different and that would become a reality for me. So I thought there was what I thought I would do, and then there was what I actually did. And looking back, I have some advice for the me that woke up that morning. Things that I would say today to her that she didn't really know or hadn't considered before. One of the things I first would tell her is, you don't need to make a decision in this moment. You have time. Don't rush. Really sit on how you're feeling. It's okay to wait and see how this starts to shake out before you know you want to stay or go. I thought I had to make a decision right away on the spot. And then once I made the decision, I then thought I had to stick with that decision as if it was something I was to see through. I now don't believe that. I believe our decisions can be malleable, changeable, depending on what new information that we get. The second thing I would say to myself is watch what he does or she does, not what this person says. My partner initially acted very remorseful, was all invested in trying to make it up, but within hours, even as short as hours, his attitude began to get surly, he started to become irritable, and I could tell he was no longer interested in talking about the subject any longer. That should have been a sure sign to me that this was not a person who was, one, remorseful, and two, motivated to changing. But I was naive and I didn't know better, and I really wanted us to work. So what I would say to myself today is, observe what this person is doing. People who regret their decisions put in the work. They put in the work. They're having a crisis of faith, not only with what happened with you, but also with themselves and who they discover that they are. People who don't like what they see do something to become someone different. If you're not seeing that kind of dedication, that kind of commitment, then you don't have somebody who truly is invested in changing themselves. They're just wanting you off their back. The next thing I would do is reach out for help. Now, I found it super difficult to talk to people about what was happening. I quickly discovered that most of my social world wasn't very interested in hearing these details, that it was uncomfortable, viewed as too much and too intense or not that bad. But what I didn't know is there are really wonderful resources, and I'll make sure to put a link below to some of them so that you can find them for yourselves. But there are Facebook private groups that you can join and belong to. There are online groups that you can quickly belong to. Some are free, some are not so free. But there are lots of options that I just wasn't aware of. And today, I would tell myself back then, please immediately join one of those groups. You need to not go through this alone. You need support, and you need people who understand what is happening to you. And then the last thing I would tell myself is that it is his mess, and he needs to clean it up. I did way too much help with trying to solve this problem. I ended up trying to find us a therapist. I found us a treatment program. I did everything that I could in order to help this. What happened was he ended up weaponizing his struggles as an issue that he couldn't solve and that I would have to accept. No, it's his mess. He's going to need to do the work or not do the work of cleaning it up. But that then tells me, again, something about his dedication to this relationship. So next time, to me, talking to the old me would say, honey, Don't push your money out. He's an adult boy. He can put his own money where his mouth is. If this means something to him, if he's really interested in being a different person, then he needs to do all of the investments. Finding his own therapist, paying for his own treatment, and then doing the hard work of rebuilding trust with you and me. I hope you don't find yourself in this position, but if you do, maybe some of these might be helpful as you consider what your next step is. And if you have any thoughts and questions, please don't hesitate to drop me in the comments below, and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss future episodes.